Welcome to South Wales for round 3 of the 2022 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship here at the Pembrey Circuit. It's the second day of a double-header weekend for the championship, round 2 taking place yesterday but on a different circuit. The circuit has been reversed and today the drivers run in an anti-clockwise direction, giving the categories a new challenge for this third round of the 2022 season. All the points from the various categories are combined together to give an overall champion at the end of the year. Everybody chasing hard after those points in a field comprised of drivers from all over the UK, including a couple of visitors from Northern Ireland, racing cars of all shapes, sizes, colours and ages. Let's take a look at this anti-clockwise circuit layout. Then we're on board with Todd Crooks in the super modified category in his BMW Mini. Slightly longer run off the line than we saw in round 2, and instead of turning sharp left on the tarmac, the cars head left then right through a flick onto the infield section. Rather dusty in these sunny conditions, certainly slightly better conditions than we saw on day 1 of this weekend for round 2. Over the infield into a long left-hander that takes the cars onto the back straight, cutting out the hairpin that they previously used further along the back straight here at Pembrey. A new, slightly shorter circuit layout, but slightly quicker at the same time with the hairpin not being used. Into the left-hander at the end of the back straight. Todd just avoiding a spinning car there. Quite a sharp left taking them back onto the infield, then through this S-bend section, back through onto the tarmac. Then a further long left-hander taking them back towards the start point, tightening on the way through it and then back through towards the infield. Certainly a very different circuit layout. We begin our action with the Cooper Tyres Junior Rallycross category. Reigning champion Owen Robbins with 2 heat wins takes pole position. The other heat going to yesterday's winner Corey Paget, and Tyler McAlpin completing the front row. The other competitor Holly Woolley on the second row. Ryan Smith, the other junior here this weekend, sadly a non-starter, but it's Owen Robbins who gets away well. Slots in ahead of Corey Paget into the opening chicane, turning right onto the loose section. Rallycross using a mixture of tarmac and dirt surfaces. Owen Robbins, not the best start to the southwest of England based youngsters season in the junior category, using these identical 1300cc Suzuki Swifts. He was taken out on the first corner of the final of round 1 at Blighton Park in Lincolnshire, and was then docked one place for contact, having taken the checkered flag first in yesterday's A final here at Pembrey. Was docked back to second behind Corey Paget, so needs points here to mount his championship challenge. Winner of round 1 at Blighton was Kentish-based driver Will Ovenden. He's not here this weekend. A bit of a lock-up there from Corey Paget. Scored his first ever A final win after a couple of years of trying yesterday. Tyler McAlpin, a newcomer this year, in third, and Holly Woolley completing the 4-car entry for this one. As we said, Ryan Smith, sadly a non-starter in the 5th car. 6-lap A finals here at Pembrey, round 3 of the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship, sponsored by Autosport International, the racing car show, held every winter at the NEC in Birmingham. Hopefully we'll see that held again next year, and cancelled for the last couple of years due to the pandemic. 927 Owen Robbins leads the way then, the former mini stocks racer on the short ovals. Brilliant title win last year. Juniors are eligible to go into the overall point standings for the overall BTRDA Championship as well. We've seen Luke Constantine win that in his junior days a couple of times. He's now moved on to greater things. Corey Paget in second place, the son of Phil Chicken, who competes in the super modified category. He's indeed the reigning super modified class champion with his Citroen C2. We'll see him out later on. Corey under pressure here from Tyler McAlpin, impressive first season racer in car number 10. Holly Woolley has dropped back slightly. Nose to tail for second place over the infield section, back onto the tarmac, over the finish line between the red tyre stacks there. Checkered flag will go out there after 6 laps. It is a longer first lap due to the slightly different starting positions, a bit like motocross. The cars don't start actually on the main circuit loop. Owen Robbins away and clear then. Was denied by broken steering after a first corner collision at Blighton. Denied victory yesterday after some contact with Corey Paget on the last lap, and he was demoted from first to second. He's not going to be denied this time, and Corey Paget does not want to be denied second place. Corey had a terrific battle with Will Ovenden in the first round at Blighton. Owen Robbins is away and gone in this one. Frustrating season for the West Country-based young gun so far. Used to race along with sister Gemma in short oval racing in the mini stocks. All these drivers in junior rallycross aged between 14 and 17. Training ground for rallycross stars of tomorrow. Seen the likes of Kevin and Timmy Hansen move up through junior rallycross in years gone by, sons of the legendary Kenneth Hansen. And they've now gone on to the World Rallycross Championship. Maybe we'll see one of these drivers in the FIA World Rallycross Championship one day, who knows. The Clubman's Rallycross Championship, administered by the BTRDA, the British Trials and Rallycross Drivers Association. Immensely popular throughout its history with drivers, competitors and officials alike. Corey Paget holding second place here. Tyler McAlpin just not quite able to make a move on him. We're on the penultimate lap of this 6-lap Cooper Tyres Juniors A final, with Owen Robbins, barring any major mechanical disaster, set to win it and record his first A final win of his title defence. He's away and gone in the blue car. Two white cars battling for second place. Holly Woolley still going further back in fourth position. McAlpin runs wide. Owen Robbins starts his final lap meantime. Through the left-hander, round onto the loose section once again. You can see the divides between the tarmac and the loose surfaces on this former airfield here at Pembrey near Port Talbot in South Wales. Town of Bury Port's just down the road. It's going to be a win for Owen Robbins. Swings his way through the last few corners. See the old runway there on this airfield circuit. Through the final corner comes Owen Robbins for his first A final win of the season. 3 different winners from the first 3 rounds for the Cooper Tyres junior category. And is Corey Paget going to hang on for second place? Going up to the final, left-hander. Yes, he's done it, only just ahead of Tyler McAlpin, and Holly Woolley will complete the finishers. In she comes to take the 4th and final spot. Dominance from Owen Robbins finally gets his first A final victory chalked up of his title defence season, finishing from some 13 seconds clear of the battle between Corey Paget and Tyler McAlpin, who were separated by just 0.2 of a second at the line, and Holly Woolley about 12 seconds further back, completing the 4 finishes in our Cooper Tyres Junior A final.
Here with us is Owen Robbins, who's just won the junior final. Your first victory this year, I believe.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And having had such an amazing run of success last year, how good does this feel?
You know, it's been like 3rd round, so it took a while compared to last year, but yeah, it feels amazing, yeah.
So tell us about your race, how did it go?
I mean, it was pretty smooth after turn 1, to be honest. I just got away, yeah.
And then just kept your foot down, kept it planted?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at my mirrors, it was quite good watching, but yeah.
So will we see you for the next round?
Hopefully, yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Good, and well, we'll wish you all the very best for the next round, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks a lot, cheers.
Now on to the All Tool UK and AVO Suspension UK modified category. 3 cars on track for their A final. James Avison, looking for his 3rd A final win of the season in the Ford Focus, leads the way, but up alongside him Alex Fletcher in the Loughborough College Honda Civic Type R. James Avison won 2 of the heats earlier on. Steve Gaunt won the other heat in his Renault Clio. He's a bit further behind in 3rd place. Alex Fletcher in what is a production category spec Honda Civic Type R, soon to be upgraded to modified specification. James Avison was the winner yesterday despite a spirited challenge from Alex Fletcher for the Loughborough College team. It was Avison who took his 2nd A final win. He won at a canter at the opening round at Blyton Park. Steve Gaunt in the SG Haulage Clio, further back in 3rd place, but much closer than they were in round 2, these 3 in the other direction. Entering lap 4 of this 6-lap A final, and Fletcher having a look there. It's a heroic effort by Alex Fletcher, particularly as he's not raced since 2019. At that time he was undergoing cancer treatment as well. Thankfully he is now in the clear, which is great news for Alex. His students from Loughborough College certainly enjoying their weekend in Pembrey, looking after the car. Can he give them an A-final victory here and inflict the first A-final defeat of the season on James Avison, the former Bangor racer, at the wheel of his Ford Focus, the boss of All Tool UK, the series sponsor. Steve Gaunt, also a long-time Rallycross racer and sponsor, with his business SG Haulage, dropping back very slightly there. So they go into the penultimate lap, and Fletcher having a look. He's up on the curb there on the inside. Avison just using the superior power of the Focus. Don't forget that the Civic is only a production category spec car, really. But he's right on the tail of James Avison. This is impressive from Alex Fletcher. Steve Gaunt just keeping a watching brief in third. If anything happens ahead of him, he could be through to take the win as well. Much closer up than he was in yesterday's A-final in the opposite direction. Going round towards the start of their final lap of this Pembrey circuit at this time. Steve Gaunt's further back in third place now, just dropping a couple of car lengths away. Can James Avison make it a hat-trick? Put himself in the clear in terms of the championship, certainly for the modified category, sponsored by All Tool UK and AVO Suspension. But Alex Fletcher is giving him no peace at all here, trying to get the Honda up alongside him. It's in a straight line where the Focus is stronger, the more powerful car. Up towards the back straights for the last time. This is the new section. Rather than going up to the hairpin onto the end of the back straight, they swing through that left-hander and down the far straight into the left-hander back towards the infield. I think James Avison has done enough as they go over the little bit of loose there, up towards the final corner. It's 3 A-final wins out of 3. A hat-trick for James Avison in 2022 in the modified class. Alex Fletcher a superb second, and Stephen Gaunt comes over in third place. Well, James Avison could put himself into contention for the overall championship with form like this. 3 A-final wins out of 3. He wins by less than half a second ahead of a spirited effort by Alex Fletcher in the Loughborough College Honda Civic Type R. And Stephen Gaunt was only a couple of seconds further back as well. The whole field of 3 covered by just over 2 seconds, the closest A-final we've had so far.
James, congratulations. It seems like only 24 hours ago that I was congratulating you on your first final victory this weekend.
Yeah, 24 hours ago. It's been a great day today. Won 2 heats. Not so good in one of the heats, but you know, a good day, good weekend.
And a good race as well. You didn't have it all your own way.
No, not at all. Like today, the car of 218, Loughborough College. A bit of rivalry because we're in a college as well. We're at Sparshouts Academy. Gave me a good race today. Fantastic racing, you know, all clean racing. You know, a couple more cars out in the Formula, and it'd be a spot-on Formula to be in.
Yeah, well, it's always lovely to have a full grid, and hopefully that will happen again. That will happen in this category sometime in future. Yeah,
well, supposedly in Lyddon, next meeting, I think there's another 2 or 3 cars meant to be turning up. So around 6 cars, and it'll be a good day's racing.
You've certainly done your championship charge a lot of good this weekend.
Yeah, so far I'm 2 out of 2 this weekend, and I won at Blighton as well, so all 3 at the moment. So yeah, onwards and upwards.
Well, I look forward to seeing you at Lyddon next time round.
Yeah, definitely. Lyddon's a home track, like 10 minutes down the road. Can't wait for Lyddon. Love Lyddon.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good action so far then here on the Pembrey circuit, round 3 of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Owen Robbins getting his season back on track in the Cooper Tyres junior category, and James Avison a great hat-trick of A-finals so far in the All Tool UK modified class. We're now moving on to take a look at the Bone Street Autos BMW Mini category. 5 BMW Mini Cooper S's out there in this one. Rejoin the race midway through the first lap. The 3 heat winners filling the first 3 positions. Nick Abbott, Andy Hawkes and Abby McGuinness took a heat win each. It's Nick Abbott out in front for the first time in an A-final, swinging his way around this opening lap in the sunshine here at Pembrey. Certainly better conditions than the overcast weather we had for round 2 yesterday. The entry completed by Ansko Pitkänen, the Finnish-born racer in number 20, and Martin Hawkes at the back of the field, doubling up this weekend, also racing in the Clubman 4x4 class with the BMW Mini All4 Countryman. Didn't have much luck with that yesterday, suffered a small fire in that category's A final and had a half spin in the BMW Mini final in round 2, finished at the back of the field. Nick Abbott out in front. He had minor problems with his BMW Mini in round 2's A final, briefly lost drive and dropped down the field, but he leads the way here under pressure from the reigning class champion Andy Hawks. He's won both A finals so far, so the black and green car is going for a hat-trick. Andy Hawks won the class title last year. It was a subclass within the super modifieds, the BMW Minis last season, but enough entries for a standalone championship for the first time this year. Abby McGuinness, one of the leading ladies of the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship, in 3rd place. Former short oval racer, trying something new over the last couple of years. Had quite a big crash at Knock Hill in the final round of last year's championship. She's bounced back in style, chasing Andy Hawks here. They had a close battle for victory in yesterday's A final in round 2. And Abby McGuinness scored her first ever pole position, winning 2 of the heats, but the heats shared between 3 drivers today, and Nick Abbott looking for his maiden A final out in front in the colours of the Bell Rallycross team. David Bell has been running BMW Minis for many years now. Ansco Pitcairn in a Bell car, I believe, as well, in 4th position. And Martin Hawks at the tail of the field. Not been a happy weekend for Martin, sadly, at Pembrey so far. To put things right in the Clubman 4x4 category. Their opening rounds of the season this weekend. They didn't run at Blyton. Flap 4 of the 6 now. These BMW Mini Cooper S's, an ideal way for newcomers to get into rallycross, relatively inexpensive to run. Abby McGuinness starts to close up on Andy Hawks. This is allowing Nick Abbott to get away at the front of the field. Pitcairn in behind these two. No change in position at the moment as they charge their way the wrong way, effectively, up the back straight. The tarmac circuit runs clockwise. Events we see here include rounds of the British Truck Racing Championship. That's here in a few weeks' time. The big rig's always spectacular here in South Wales. There were rumours at one time a few years ago that truck rallycross was going to be tried. I think that was at Liddon Hill down in Kent. Don't think it ever came to fruition, though. Now Abby McGuinness is right with Andy Hawks for that 2nd place. Nick Abbott's away and gone. He's heading for victory. Andy Hawks is going to lose his unbeaten run of A finals in his title defence season. He's got his mirrors full of the 614 car of Abby McGuinness, and Ansco Pitcairn is closing up as well. Close fight for 2nd. They're not threatening Nick Abbott's lead, though. He's heading for his, what I believe will be his first ever A final win in the category. McGuinness to the outside. This is where she's stronger as they go into the final lap, trying to go up the outside. I don't think she'll get round there. No, Hawks holds it. Keeps that 2nd place. Over the loose they go. A little bit of a lock up there from Hawks, but he's held 2nd place. Down towards this long left-hander onto the back straights. Pitcairn not letting them get away either in the number 20 car, the white car there. It's Nick Abbott heading for victory. It's the left-hander at the end of the back straight. Just a couple of corners to go now in this Bone Street Autos BMW Mini A final. It's going to be a first A final victory for Nick Abbott. Andy Hawks is beaten for the first time this year. He takes 2nd, holds off Abby McGuinness, and 4th goes to Ansco Pitcairn. Martin Hawks will complete the finishers. Congratulations to Nick Abbott. His first A final win in the category. He'll be overjoyed with that. Everybody else squabbling for 2nd place. So Nick Abbott confirmed as the victor, taking the win by nearly 3 seconds ahead of Andy Hawks at the flag. They were only a few tenths of a second back to Abby McGuinness in 3rd place. Ansco Pitcairn was less than a second behind in 4th, and Martin Hawks completing the 5 finishers in our Bone Street Autos BMW Mini A final.
Carry on with the winner of the BMW Mini final, Nick Abbott. How was the race for you?
It was fantastic, really. Great result. Considering the last weekend we had at Liddon, we seemed to have played with a lot of gremlins, electrical gremlins. The same again all day yesterday. A lot of cutting out, so we didn't do that great, but we've sorted it over the night. The teams were absolutely fantastic. We've worked hard with the car all weekend. A 3rd, 2 wins in the heats and a win in the final. Can't really ask for anything better, really. It was a great weekend.
It's always good when a plan comes together.
Yeah, and we really needed that this weekend. The team needed it, we needed it. So it puts us in good stead now for the British in 3 weeks' time. So hopefully push on and do the same again.
And the same at Lyddon in BTRDA?
Yeah, so we're really understanding the car. The team put a lot of hard work into the car. We've been working hard. I've been pushing the team as well, and we've got a good package now. So hopefully we'll continue to keep pushing forward and get some more wins for the rest of the season.
Paying results, and the result is top step of the podium.
Yeah, brilliant. So, like I say, great weekend, great finish, good pace. I can't ask for any more.
Nick, congratulations, well done, and we look forward to seeing more in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
It is now time for the combined 4x4 final, the SJ Wheeler Vehicle Repairs Clubman 4x4s and the Cooper Tyres Production 4x4s. Unfortunately, a few casualties in the heats for the Clubman 4x4 category. Only one car on the grid for them and two cars for the Production 4x4s. It's David Bell in his BMW Mini All 4 Countryman who leads them off, and a bit of a collision there between the two cars behind. Thomas Ramanauskas, the production class leader in his Mitsubishi, and the Subaru Impreza of former champion Paul Davis. Now, we did have four cars here today for the Clubman 4x4 class, but David Bell the sole survivor for their final. Had another BMW Mini Countryman All 4 out this weekend for Martin Hawks. That suffered a minor fire in yesterday's A final. So today we had yesterday's winner Michael Boak, in his Skoda Fabia, and also the Subaru Impreza, much more modified Subaru Impreza of Nigel Burke. Sadly, they all suffered problems in the heats, leaving David Bell running alone. So he should win this overall ahead of the less powerful Cooper Tyre Production 4x4 category duo. Thomas Ramanauskas scored his maiden A final win in yesterday's event in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4. Subaru Impreza WRX of Paul Davis, the former champion, in behind him. He won round one at Blyton Park despite losing his exhaust during that A final. We should see a close battle here for second place. David Bell, the more powerful four-wheel drive BMW Mini Countryman. Certainly an unusual looking car, that one, but David's done a lot of development work on these cars. There's a couple of them competing in the UK. And David Bell, the son of Tony Bell, the long-time British Rallycross competitor, used to compete in a Toyota Corolla WRC towards the end of his career. Pulling away at the front as expected, ahead of Ramanauskas. Now, Paul Davis seems to be dropping back. Whether he picked up a bit of damage following that contact on the first corner, I'm not too sure. We did see a bit of a rub between the Mitsubishi and the Subaru. Of course, these cars deadly rallying rivals for many years. BMW Mini did have a rally team briefly. Chris Meek driving for them at one time. The Mini Countryman WRC, but this is an entirely new development, this Rallycross BMW Mini All 4. Going clear of Thomas Ramanauskas, the Lithuanian-born driver in the Mitsubishi. See another driver from Lithuania, UK-based Joe Meskauskas, in years gone by in the production category with his Citroen C2. Drive it like you stole it, it says on the back of the Mitsubishi, and Ramanauskas certainly has been this weekend. He scored his first ever A final win in yesterday's event on the Clockwise course, defeating Paul Davis. Reigning champion in production 4x4, Dan Beattie, not competing this year, sadly. Hopefully we'll see him back out in years to come. We'll see entries rise across our 4x4 classes. They are spectacular machines, especially the Clubman 4x4s. We said we've had the likes of Nigel Burke in his modified Subaru. Similar amount of Simon Horton appeared in the last couple of years too. The other BMW Minis, Martin Hawks, we know has had problems with his this weekend, and that brilliant new Skoda Fabia that won yesterday's event in the hands of Michael Boak, who used to compete in an Audi TT. But David Bell, the sole survivor really, and sadly with no one to race with in this A final. He's not going too far clear of the other class in this race, the production 4x4s, but Ramanauskas is certainly going clear of Paul Davis. That Subaru is definitely struggling here. I don't know what the problem is. He's had gearbox issues with that car this year at Blyton. Changed the gearbox ahead of the A final. Is that a little bit of smoke I see out of the back of Ramanauskas now? Are they both in trouble, I wonder? There's Davis. Looking at the front of the car, you can see a little bit of damage there from that first corner contact. I'm wondering if there's something bent in the steering of that car. But we're on the last lap now of this combined 4x4 A final. The SJ Wheeler Clubman's 4x4 is going to be won by David Bell. He won all 3 of the heats as well. In the Cooper Tyre Production 4x4, Thomas Ramanauskas won heats 1 and 2, Paul Davis won heat 3. It's going to be Ramanauskas who takes the A final for the second time this weekend. It's going to be an overall win for David Bell. The lone Clubman 4x4 runner comes in to win it. Second place overall and winning the production 4x4 category is Thomas Ramanauskas. Paul Davis completing the finishers. So a solo performance from David Bell in the BMW Mini All-4 Countryman. He takes the SJ Wheeler production Clubman 4x4 victory, I should say. His 3 rivals at this meeting sadly not making it out for the A final. Hopefully we'll see increase in numbers as the season goes on, and in the Cooper Tyre Production 4x4 category as well. But some good racing this weekend between the former champion Paul Davis and newcomer Thomas Ramanauskas. Ramanauskas taking the win there by over 5 seconds at the flag in the Mitsubishi. Great stuff then from our 4x4 categories.
David, great win for you. It looks quite comfortable by Rallycross standards.
Yeah, it's been a good day today. The car's driven really well all day, faultless really. It's got a little bit of an edge against the production cars, but the other Clubman's 4-wheel drive cars, it's underpowered compared to them really, so it's done me really well today.
You seem to be handling the off-road part rather well.
Yeah, it's doing really well in that as well. I've got comfortable in the car now, so I can really push it through the loose sections a bit more than I could this time last year.
And sadly, quite a lot of attrition for the for this class today. But any mechanical problems?
Personally, no. The car's, like I say, the car's been faultless all day. Can't fault it.
Well, that's great to hear. So you'll be joining us for the next round?
Yes, back again for the next round.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your win, and enjoy your celebrations later.
Thank you very much.
Next up we have the AS Performance Super Modified category, a double heat win for category leader Darren Bleasdale in the Vauxhall VX220. He's on pole. Darren Scott in the Citroën C2 won the other heat. We're on board with Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini. Rocketing through from the back, Michelle Swallow in the Porsche Boxster. Not the best of starts for Todd Crooks. As they make their way around the first corner, it's Bleasdale leading in the Vauxhall. And there's contact there. Stan Beauville in the Escort gets spun out by Michelle Swallow there. Beauville, the Northern Irishman, left facing the wrong way. Phil Chicken has hit a tyre stack there in the background. It's Bleasdale who leads. Dale Ford in the Corsa, his new car for this year, in second place. Much better run in the heats for him today. He's finally got that Vauxhall Corsa, the Belgian-built car, dialed in properly. On board with Todd Crooks further back, battling with Michelle Swallow in the Porsche Boxster. They reach the end of the back straight. It's not been the best of weekends for Todd Crooks. Oh, it's about to get worse, I think. Collision with Michelle Swallow. Swallow spun it there, coming out of the left-hander, has hit Todd Crooks, and both of them are out. Oh dear, well, Michelle Swallow had already made contact with Stan Beauville in the Escort, so a chaotic race for her, to say the least. Beauville's still going a long way back after that spin. It's Darren Bleasdale who leads the way in the Vauxhall VX220, the car that brother Jason was unbeaten in this category last season on his way to the overall championship. Darren Scott has just taken second place away from Dale Ford. Look at the state of Michelle Swallow's car. A little over-exuberant around the opening lap, I would say, there from the Porsche pilot. She's out of the race, so is Todd Crooks after that collision. Not been a happy weekend, as we were saying, for Todd. A fair number of mechanical problems with the BMW Mini, much more modified car than we saw in their one make category, of course. So Darren Bleasdale leads, looking for a final win number 3 this year, looking to emulate brother Jason and take the overall title this year. Second place Darren Scott in his Citroën C2, Dale Ford in third, and further back it is Phil Chicken, the reigning super modified category champion, in fourth. There is Stan Beauville on his recovery drive in his ever sideways rear-wheel drive Escort. It's 5 cars left running now. We lost a couple of cars after yesterday's event, one of them being Chris Wheeler's Citroën DS3. Good to see Dale Ford running towards the front for the first time in the Corsa. Former Former overall champion. He was in production when he won the overall title in a Citroën Saxo. Starting to get a little more spaced out now, the leaders, but not the dominant lead that we normally see Darren Bleasdale take. Was beaten by Darren Scott when he had a moment in one of the heats earlier on, but given that only your best 2 results out of the 3 heats count towards your grid position, 2 wins were enough to give Darren another pole position. That car unbeaten in A finals for over a year now. Dale Ford dropping back just a little into 3rd place. Still Phil Chicken in 4th. And the only other car left running is Stan Beauville in the Escort. Bleasdale leads out towards the back straight now. He's increasing his lead. You can see the power in a straight line of that Vauxhall VX220. Doesn't look to the untrained eye very much like a rallycross car, more of a GT car, but it is very quick, as we've seen, particularly on the tarmac in a straight line. It flies off the line in every race. In 2nd place there, Darren Scott. Raced this Citroën C2 for many years. Was even in the British Rallycross Grand Prix with this car up against the supercar type cars a few years ago. Dale Ford further back in 3rd place as Darren Bleasdale coming up to lap Stan Beauville. Where is Beauville going? England, if he keeps going in that direction, I think. Looks like he could be out of it. Something broke there on the Escort, I think. So we're down to 4 cars running now. Darren Scott still in 2nd place. Dale Ford should still be in 3rd, but he seems to have dropped back. There is Dale Ford, and he's being caught by Phil Chicken. I think Dale Ford's in trouble. Yeah, nearly hit there by Phil Chicken. He goes around in. Ford's slowing up. We've got another car in trouble. There's going to be no finishers to this race at this rate. Well, Phil Chicken now up into 3rd place, and I think Dale Ford is pulling over, so we've only got 3 cars left. Rather destructive A final for the AS Performance Super Modified category. Several cars taken out on the first lap in collisions with Michelle Swallow. We lost Swallow, Todd Crooks, Stan Beauville was involved as well. He's since gone out of the race with something broke on the Escort, pitching it off track. Dale Ford has pulled up as well, and Darren Bleasdale coming in to take his 3rd A final win of the year. He takes the checkered flag. Dale Ford's car we caught a glimpse of pulled up at the side of the circuit there. It will be Darren Scott 2nd and Phil Chicken the only other finisher in a chaotic Super Modified A final. What a crazy race that was. The win does go to Darren Bleasdale. 3 A finals in a row for him this year, finishing nearly 5 seconds clear of Darren Scott in the Citroën in 2nd, and a further 6.6 seconds back. Phil Chicken taking 3rd. We lost Dale Ford late on with a mechanical problem. Stan Beauville that went out a lap earlier, and Michelle Swallow and Todd Crooks tangled on the first lap.
Well, it's great to see you back here in the winner's enclosure, Darren.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's been a tricky day today. It's ups and downs. I didn't utilise my good grid position in the 2nd heat. I had a little bit of an issue, a bit of a misfire, so that put me on the back foot for the Q3 with being at the back. But I fought through the field quite well, and I was quite happy with my overtakes and stuff today. It's been good.
Yeah, because the competition's pretty stiff out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, that Q3 was a tough one, coming right from the back. But the team made sure everything was ready for after the Q2 issue, and thankfully I did a good job.
And then on to the final. How was that?
Yeah, that was it. Just get that start, and then I just backed off after that and just maintained the gap and just kept it going, really.
So which do you prefer, this way round or yesterday's direction?
It's quite tricky. I think both my times were similar, but I quite like it. It's more technical this way. Although it's the same sort of corners, it's a bit different coming from the other way. It's a bit more technical. But yesterday was a lot faster and more smoother, I think. Yeah, but enjoyed it. Yeah, good track.
Yeah, same circuit but different challenges.
Yeah.
Got to be good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great track. I like it.
Now I'm sure I know the answer to this one, but we'll see you at Lyddon for the next round.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Well, Darren, congratulations, great win, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers. Thank you, Steve.
Certainly entertaining racing here at Pembrey with the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Wins in the 4x4 classes for David Bell and Thomas Ramanauskas. We should see entries go up in those categories as the season goes on, while Darren Bleasdale continuing his unbeaten run in the VX220 in the AS Performance Super Modified class. We're going to Take a look now at the SG Haulage production category. 3 different heat winners. Mark Henry in his Alfa Romeo 147. He's on pole. And also heat wins for local man Andrew Smith in the Renault Clio. And Dan Pollard in his Citroën Saxo. Henry, Smith and Charlie Titcombe, yesterday's A-final winner, on the front row of the grid as we get underway. 10 cars out there and a good start by Smith in the Renault Clio. The Gower Motors car takes the lead into the first corner ahead of Titcombe. Mark Henry, not the best of starts on the front of the grid. There's a bit of contact there in the pack between Charlie Maroney, the winner of round 1 at Blyton, and Dan Pollard in the yellow car. It's damaged the front of Maroney's car, but at least he's got further than he did in the A-final in round 2 yesterday. He tangled with Andy Smith on the first corner, and both of them were out. Smith leading the way this time. Charlie Maroney, who qualified for this final by winning the B-final, been a disappointing weekend for him so far, but he's come through there as Carl Jarvis passes Mark Henry for 3rd place. The other car to qualify from the B-final was Dan Cofield in the Peugeot 206 at the back of the field there. Spun away 4th place in yesterday's A-final, chasing James Ash in the Citroën C2. It's Andy Smith, the local man, out in front in his Renault Clio ahead of Charlie Titcombe, looking for his 2nd A-final of the weekend. Charlie Maroney looking for his 2nd A-final of the season. There's Ash and Cofield towards the back of this 10-car grid. The only driver not to qualify for this A-final was Mark Finch in his Renault Clio, so bad luck to him. There's Carl Jarvis, the blue and yellow Saxo, ahead of Mark Henry, now back up into 4th place, ahead of what's left of Charlie Maroney's Saxo. He dives back up the inside, bit of contact on the way into the corner, and gets past the unique Alfa Romeo 147, the only car of its kind in Rallycross. Mark Henry was very pleased to take a heat win earlier on in that car. Battle behind, that's Dan Pollard in the yellow Saxo, his first ever win earlier on in Heat 3. Just losing out there to Kai Mannering, another rookie this year, local man from South Wales in the Peugeot 106. The stack of tyres in the middle of the road there. John Rook just going through behind them in the green and white Peugeot 106. Bit of understeer there. Just with the steering a bit skewed on Charlie Maroney's Saxo. See his father Richard out in the classic category in his Ford Escort as well this weekend. A double for the Maroneys at Blyton in round 1. They both won their respective A-finals, but both failed to finish their A-finals in round 2 here at Pembrey yesterday on the clockwise course. But it's Andy Smith, the local man in the Clio, leading the way. Charlie Titcombe in there in 2nd place, looking for win number 2 of the weekend. The junior Rallycross graduate, his first weekend in that white Saxo, and it's turning out great for him. Will he make a challenge for the SG Haulage production category title this year, I wonder? Carl Jarvis was one of the favourites on paper pre-season. He's in there in 3rd. He was involved in the first corner incident which claimed Smith and Maroney in yesterday's A-final. Maroney in his now rather more lightweight Saxo in 4th place. Consistency can be the key, and we haven't seen consistency from many drivers over the first 3 rounds due to various misfortunes, it has to be said. Charlie Titcombe will have a win and a 2nd place if things stay like this, but he wants to make it 2 wins. He's got still a couple more laps to attack Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith, we rarely see him race away from Pembrey. First to keep his racing local. Charlie Maroney chasing down Carl Jarvis. Having a look for 3rd place on the inside on the back straight. He won't get through there. Mark Henry and Kai Mannering in behind them. In his first season of Rallycross. Further back we've got Dan Pollard, Dan Cofield, John Rook and James Ash still going. As you mentioned, Mark Finch sadly not qualifying for the A-final, the only man to miss out in his Clio. The maximum grid size of 10. They avoid the tyre stack there on the loose, a bit of an extra chicane if you like. Charlie Titcombe is getting closer and closer to the back of Andrew Smith in the Clio. On the penultimate lap, so about a lap and a half still to go. It's SG Haulage production class A final. These are the cheapest and more entry-level cars run by the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Mainly Saxos and 106s, the occasional Clio. Similar small hatchbacks. We've got the C2 of James Ash out there as well. Peugeot 206 of Dan Cofield was lucky not to be T-boned when he spun in yesterday's A-final. Mark Henry battling away with Kai Mannering. He's given a good account of himself so far in his short rallycross career, the Welshman. Mark Henry going very nicely indeed in the Alfa Romeo. Failed to finish yesterday's A final. Not going to catch Andrew Smith and Charlie Titcombe. It's just between these two, and Smith has eked out a lead here. He's heading for victory. The win goes to Andrew Smith on his local circuit. Charlie Titcombe comes over in second place, and Carl Jarvis completes the top three. Great drive by Andrew Smith makes up for his non-finish in yesterday's A final. Battle to the line between John Rook in the number 26 Peugeot 106 and James Ash right on his tail in the Citroën C2. James, another of our newcomers this season, just fails to catch John Rook there. That's towards the back of the field. It's a win for Andrew Smith in the Gower Motors Renault Clio. Great stuff from the local South Wales driver, taking the win by just over a second from Charlie Titcombe. A hard chase for Charlie. Carl Jarvis holding off Charlie Maroney to take third place, and Mark Henry a good fifth in the Alfa Romeo. Kai Mannering was next home ahead of Dan Pollard, one of our heat winners from earlier on. Then Daniel Cofield in the Peugeot 206. John Rook just beating James Ash home to take 9th place.
With Andrew Smith, who's just won the final for the production category.
Yeah.
A happy win?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, good. On home ground, so yeah, happy with that. Yeah, been out for a couple of years, so first weekend back, so yeah, good.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
And with a pretty much a full grid behind you.
Yes. Yeah, it was a busy grid, so yeah, I was lucky to get out in front and yeah, stay there. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, quite right. How's the car behaved itself?
It hasn't been too bad. A couple of little hiccups, but yeah, it's soldiered on. It's held together with cable ties and gaffer tape, so it's still going strong.
Well, that sounds like a proper rallycross car to me.
That's the way. Still going. So yeah, it's good little car. Happy with it.
So now you've joined us and you've tasted success. Are you back with us for the rest of the season?
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Work commitments is quite heavy at the moment, but yeah, touch wood, we'll do a full season.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good buzz. So we'll see.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
The Melius Limited Pre-95 Classic category on the grid. 2 heat wins for Lee Wood. He's on pole. We're on board with Helen Crooks in her Classic Mini at the back of the grid. Lee Wood with 2 heat wins. Dave Crockett in the Vauxhall Chevette HSR won the other. They'll be the favourites for this one. Watch for Mark Jones, the local man in his Toyota MR2, always fast off the line from the second row of the grid. Jamie McBain coming through from the back in the Peugeot 205 as well, but it's Wood who has the lead into the first corner ahead of Crockett. Jones into third place, then Richard Maroney in the Orange Escort, father of Charlie, who was out in the production category. Looks like McBain slowing there in the 205. David Attiwell gets ahead of him in the Vauxhall Nova. McBain's still going. He must have missed a gear there. He's dropped down the order, and it's Lee Wood looking for his second A final win of the weekend. Richard Maroney there on the grass in fourth place. He won round 1 at Blyton but failed to finish yesterday's A final. Jamie McBain in the Peugeot 205 chasing Tom Edmonds in the Vauxhall Corsa. Ahead of them David Ewan in his Ford Fiesta, not the Ford Fiesta Evo, car with the Mitsubishi engine that we normally see the Cumbrian racing in. That car not ready at the moment, so he switched to his backup Ford Fiesta. Jamie McBain chasing, and so is Tom Edmonds, and into the tyres goes McBain. Now that's similar to what he did at Blyton in round 1. He missed out the chicane on one lap and managed to smash his body kit, and I think he's done the same thing again there, unfortunately. It's that lovely green 205. Meanwhile, Lee Wood leads. Scored 4 wins out of 4 in round 2 yesterday, 3 heat wins and the final. Looking for another A final win here, but he was beaten in heat 3 today by Dave Crockett in the Chevette. Mark Jones up there in third, hoping to avoid a spin in this race. He's spun in both A finals held so far this year at Blyton and here at Pembrey on his local track, being chased here by Richard Maroney in the Escorts. Behind him David Attiwell in the sky blue Vauxhall Nova. Fight developing here for third and fourth. Further back behind them, we've seen some McBain, Ewan, Edmonds. One non-starter in this race, incidentally, John Cross in his Lancia Stratos replica. Problems in the heats for him. He was unable to take his place for this race. David Attiwell, a very smart-looking Vauxhall Nova. Good to have him back in the championship. Chasing now Richard Maroney. This could allow Mark Jones to get away into third place and try and chase down our two leaders, Wood and Crockett, who are well clear in an attack there from David Attiwell. Get off, says Richard Moroney, as the Nova on the inside. They're side by side there, and Attiwell goes through. Good move there. Aggressive move by David Attiwell in the Nova. Moroney drops back to 5th place now. He can ill afford to lose points here. He won the opening round at Blyton, but he retired in yesterday's A final with a problem with the Escort, and it was this, the older Escort, beautiful Motorquip STP Mark II of Lee Wood, that took the win. He's heading for an A final double for the weekend if things stay like this. Denied a victory at Blyton when he made a bad start in their A final. He took pole in the A final at Blyton Park. He could well be clear at the top of the Classic Championship, sponsored by Melius Limited, if things stay this way. Coming up to lap Helen Crooks in the Mini. Here's Mark Jones under fire now from David Attiwell. That Nova going well. Richard Moroney trying to catch back up to them. The Marks Motors MR2, a former category champion. Disappointment so far. He spun at Blyton, he spun yesterday on the clockwise layout here at Pembrey, lost a few places. Lee Wood's away and in the clear. Lap Tom Edmonds shortly, he's already gone past Helen Crooks in the Mini. Here comes Attiwell now having a go at Mark Jones. That's a brave move, and that very quick MR2. There's a look on the outside. And here comes Moroney up the inside. David Attiwell hasn't spotted him, and Richard Moroney dives through. That was a great move by Richard Moroney. Good bit of driving there to take 4th place away. Where did you come from, says David Attiwell. He did not expect that manoeuvre. Now, can the Escort challenge the MR2? This is a great little battle for 3rd place. They're content to have their own race, I think, here. They're not going to catch the two leaders. Wood out in front. David Crockett in the Vauxhall Chevette is still second. And Attiwell draws alongside Moroney, retakes the Escorts. And look who's catching them up as well. Jamie McBain is coming up in the 2:05 after his problems on the first lap. So he's up into 6th position. Wood is clear of Crockett, and here's the fight for 3rd. Attiwell, he's never going to get round the outside there, surely. That could allow Moroney back in on the inside. Jones holds the place. Attiwell shuts the door in Richard Moroney's face. Terrific race going on there for 3rd place. Missing all the fun is Lee Wood. He's heading for victory. He's on his last lap now. Coming up on Tom Edmonds in the Vauxhall Corsa, up towards the flag. Lee Wood makes it a final double for the weekend. Second is going to go to Dave Crockett in the Vauxhall Chevette. Who's going to be third? They're going to be up to lap Helen Crooks, who moves out of the way. We're on board with the Mini. We've seen her son Todd out earlier on in his BMW Mini as the 3rd place battle goes through. It looks like it is going to be Mark Jones in the MR2 who will take 3rd place ahead of Attiwell and Moroney. What a great race those three had. Jamie McBain takes 6th in the Peugeot, but it's a dominant win for Lee Wood, only beaten once over the course of the 2 rounds this weekend in one of the heats. Lee Wood taking the win by some 7 seconds ahead of Davy Crockett in 2nd place in the Chevette, and he was a long way clear in terms of some 14 seconds clear of that battle for 3rd. Mark Jones finishing 3rd ahead of Attiwell and Moroney. In the end, they were covered by less than a second. Jamie McBain and David Ewing completing the finish as we lost Edmonds and Crooks a lap down.
Lee, another win. Well, tell us about your race.
It's good. It's all important off the line. Everything's dead off the line, and then if you can get in front, then move on. Just drive your own race and just keep your eye on the mirror, see who's there, and then just keep going forward. So, yeah, it's good.
And how did running this way compare with running the other way yesterday?
This morning it wasn't quite so favourable for the rear wheel drive, but I think as the day sort of progressed and I've got used to it, and you can get used to the track as well, and it's a little bit drier, so no, it was good. It was comparable with yesterday, but it's great, flowing, and they've done a good job.
And how's the car behaved itself today?
Touch wood, it's been amazing. A couple of tiny little bits, but good as gold.
And still looking mighty fine. It's the sort of the John Welsh halo effect.
Well, maybe it's. It's a nice rear-wheel drive. The slopes and the turns are nice. So it works well.
And also very good for your championship position.
Yeah, we 2-1 yesterday, 1 today. So can't be bad, really.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you, Lee, and we'll see you at Pembrey.
Yep.
No, we are at Pembrey. We'll see you at Lyddon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Thank you very much.
Well, that concludes a great weekend of action here at Pembrey from the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Next time out, we're at the home of Rallycross, Liddon Hill in Kent, for round 4 of the championship. But for now, thanks very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.